to the cloud. Okay, so as always, you might see me come forward and back to the camera a couple times just as people are coming in. We usually have a few folks drop in a little bit late, but let's go ahead and get started. I invite you to come to a comfortable seat on your mat, whatever that happens to look like in your body this morning. Remembering, as always, that you have options. So in my body, it's comfortable to sit with my legs folded. If that's not the case in yours, sit in a different way. Sit with one leg out, both. Sit on a cushion or a yoga block. Find a comfortable position for your body. And then once you've found that nice comfortable seat, bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. And begin to cultivate some nice, deep belly breaths, really breathing from the center of your body. Now, as you breathe, begin to add a little bit of movement along with that breath. So on your inhale, feel your spine roll out nice and long, sit tall on the mat. And then exhale, soften. Inhaling to lift, to rise, to lengthen. And exhale to melt a little bit. On your next exhale, release your hands down by your sides. Now inhale to lengthen your spine, and on this exhale, draw your navel toward your spine and begin to turn your tailbone under just a little bit. And then inhale, lengthen, sitting tall again. Exhaling, navel to spine, curling back a little bit. Inhaling to lengthen. Good, so we feel this pulse, this waking up of our bellies, of our cores. And then we can start to make this movement bigger. So on your exhale, really let your navel draw you back, right? Make a C shape with your spine. Inhale, and as you lengthen your spine, shift your breastbone forward. Exhaling, scooping in, shifting back, rounding the spine. Inhaling, shifting forward. So we're feeling a little bit of cat-cow energy here. Now you can stay right here. If this is perfect, if this feels awesome, stay exactly as you are. If you'd like to add on your inhale, you can sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, as your navel draws back, as your spine rounds, draw your elbows to your sides, and then inhale. Lengthen, expand, exhale, draw all that energy into your core. Inhaling, rolling over. And exhale. And on this exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Take a moment right here to set your intention for your practice today. Choose the energy you would like to cultivate. And then once that intention is set, release your hands down to the mat. Sweep your feet around behind you. Let's find our way to tabletop. So as always, we start with our wrists beneath our shoulders, knees are under our hips. On your inhale, roll your heart forward and tip your tailbone to the sky. And then exhale, coil your belly in and drop the crown of your head. Inhale to roll open. And exhale, coil in. Now, as you move through cat-cow, feel welcome to begin some intuitive movement. So if this feels great, you can stay right here, but from here you can begin to find free form movement. So maybe shifting from side to side, forward or back. We call this kind of movement sahaja movement in yoga, which means serpentine. So you can think of it as fluid, flowing motion. And then from here, find your way all the way back to your tabletop. Let's do our calf stretch real quick. Draw your knees together under your hips so that they're a little more centered on your body. On your inhale, extend your right leg long and then lower the tip of your toe down to the mat. Press into your right heel. And we'll just breathe here for a couple of counts, letting that calf stretch out. One of the interesting things about our culture is that we do tend to have very tight calves. And then let's switch it out. Lower your right knee down. Inhale, extend your left leg long and lower the tip of your toe to the mat. Begin to press into that left heel. Again, just enjoying that stretch. Breathing through any places that feel stuck or that feel like they're holding out on you. And then as you're ready, simply lower that left knee back down. Now we're going to meet in forward fold, and you can get there however you'd like to. You can walk your hands back, you can step your feet forward, whatever works best in your body. Once you arrive in your forward fold, take a moment to just kind of collapse into that space. This is not a pretty forward fold, it doesn't have to be. Relax the back of your neck and your head. Find some movement if that would feel good. You can let the week kind of roll off your shoulders and out into the mat. I always like visualizing that. It's almost like water pouring off. And then come to stillness at the center. Bend your knees, exhale to roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides. Let's set up Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of the mat. So make your way there if you're not already there. And as always in Tadasana, we want the feet to be facing the same direction, facing forward, nice and even. Root down into the earth. Bring your hands to your belly and give your belly some love. And then let your hands come to rest on that little triangle of muscles just beneath your navel. Draw them in and up and feel your tailbone lengthen slightly. Keep that as you roll your shoulders back and down, palms face forward. Good. So feel how tall you are right now, how powerful. On your next inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way forward, bowing over your legs. Relax the back of your head. Bend your knees and plant your fingertips onto your mat or onto a set of blocks. On an inhale, step your right foot back to lunge. Exhale, lower your right knee down. Good. So let's set up our nice safe lunge right here. So what you want to do is make sure your left knee is directly over your left ankle. You can always wiggle that foot forward or back. And then we want to plant our hands to either side of that front leg. And if you're feeling like the floor is kind of far away, you can grab a set of blocks. One other option is you can always bring your hands to the inside. Sometimes that helps. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift back. Let your hips lead and let that left leg start to straighten out. Inhale, forward to lunge, melting the right hip toward the earth. And exhale, shift back, left leg straightening out. And we just flow back and forth right here. And remember, you're always welcome to do this practice on your breath, moving at the pace that I am, or at a slower pace, or a quicker one. It just depends on what feels right in your body. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Set your blocks to the side. If you're using them, find your tabletop once more. And let's do a little bit of spinal movement again, just because we're still warming up. So your choice here, inhaling to roll open and exhaling to coil through cat-cow, or free-form sahaja spinal movement. Whatever feels best, whatever helps your body release tension. And then find your way back to your neutral spine, coming to tabletop. Walk your hands one hand span forward and shift your shoulders over your wrists. So we want to set up half plank here, right? Knees, hips, and shoulders are in one long line. Draw your navel toward your spine, press the earth away. Now we're going to sustain right here, trying to keep that core nice and strong for a few breaths. If you're feeling ambitious, you're welcome to turn your toes under and lift your knees and hold plank rather than half plank. And we just want to keep our breath even, keep that core nice and strong, drawing that navel toward the spine. Continuing to press the earth away, staying buoyant through the shoulders. And then on your next exhale, knees lifted or lowered, bend your elbows and float your way down to the mat. Once you've touched down, walk your toes back. Bring your fingertips out to either side. Begin to roll one shoulder and then the other. Free your spine, create space. Just big, beautiful shoulder circles here. Too many S's all at once. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog. If you have a down dog in your practice, you're welcome to take it here. Wherever you find yourself, begin to find movement. So maybe that's cat-cow or free-form spinal movement. If you find yourself in downward dog, walk out your dog. Bend one knee and then the other. Shift your shoulders, sway your spine. Breathe it out. And then come into stillness. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. Remember, multi-step movements are fine, so you can always wiggle that right foot further forward. If your back knee is lifted, please lower it. Grab your blocks if you were using them and set up your safe lunge. So again, we have that right knee over the right ankle. Arms are toward the front of the mat. They're aligned with that front leg. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. The hips lead the way. The right leg starts to straighten. Inhale forward to lunge and melt your left hip toward the earth. Exhale, shifting back. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together. And fold. Soften. Let go. Rock from side to side if that would feel nice. Breathe. And then come to stillness. Bend your knees. Exhale. Roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands to heart center. Check in with your Tadasana. If you move, no big deal, just reposition. Root your feet. Feel that strong energy in your core. Feel that beautiful long spine. And on your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way forward. This time, halfway rise, hands come to your shins or your thighs. Roll your shoulders back and down and let your collarbones reach forward. Let them be broad. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, bend your knees, plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your left foot back to lunge. Lower that left knee down. So checking with your lunge again, you can always wiggle that foot around until that right knee is in a safe position. And let's take it a little deeper this time. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back, right toes rise. Stretch it out. And inhale forward. Now, as you're shifting back and forth, know that you can walk your hands back with you And that's even if there are blocks underneath them, you just walk the blocks. Sometimes that can help get a deeper stretch to the back of the leg. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Knees together. Walk the blocks out to either side. Find your way to your tabletop. Walk your hands one hand span forward and shift your shoulders over your wrists. So once again, we're finding our half plank right here. So we're pressing the earth away, strong core, draw your navel toward your spine. And yogi's choice here, you can turn your toes under to lift your knees. So half plank or full. On your exhale, bend your elbows 2 inches. Inhale, back up. Exhale, come halfway down and hover. Keep drawing your core in. And then lower your knees and roll your way the rest of the way down. Bring your fingertips wide. Roll it out again, just creating space through creative cobra. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Find your way to tabletop or downward facing dog, yogi's choice. Stabilize there and then inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands, remembering that multi-step movements are fine. Grab your blocks if you're using them and set up your lunge. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back, right toes rise. Inhale, left toes rise. This is my left foot. Inhale forward, melt your right hip. And exhale back. I can always tell when it's Friday. I've just like lost a couple of neurons from the week. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Turn your right toes under to lift that back knee. Look forward and step together. Fold, let it go, rock from side to side. And then come to stillness. Bend your knees, exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands to heart center. Check back in with your Tadasana. Reposition if you need to. Strong core, open heart. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Bend your knees, plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your right foot back to lunge and lower that right knee down. Now, from here, we're going to take this a little deeper in the hips. So what I'd like you to do is wiggle your left foot wide and bring your hands to the inside. So you might want to add blocks here if you're feeling like that earth is just a little too far away or if this is too much in your hips. But this gets us a nice deep hip stretch. So on your inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift back, left toes rise. Inhaling forward to lunge. And I'm going to give you options here. So you can flow back and forth to help open up the back of that left leg. You're also welcome to find some circular movements here. That can sometimes help to just work through any sticky spots that are causing issue in the hips. And just check this movement, right? So this should feel good. So if it's uncomfortable, shift back to back and forth. And then let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Knees together. Now this time we're going to bring the hips directly over the knees. Keep your hips high as you walk your hands forward and melt your heart toward the earth. So this is called puppy dog pose or anahatasana. And if this is too strong of a stretch in your shoulders, you can bend your elbows and put your forearms on the mat and still get the benefits of that stretch without quite so much pressure. Or if you feel like you're not getting enough stretch, if your shoulders are very open, you can tense your fingertips to give your body a little more space here. So just change this one to fit wherever your practice happens to be. And then roll your way all the way out and down onto your belly. Come on down, walk your toes back, create space. Now, from here, we're going to do a little bit of core work. So what I'd like you to do is extend your right arm forward. We're just going to let that hand rest. Mine's going into a shelf because this is my office. And then bend your left knee. Reach your left hand back to find that foot. Now, draw your navel toward your spine. So you want to feel strong through the core already, which helps protect the back. On your inhale, float that right hand and right foot off the ground. Exhaling, lowering them down. Strong navel, strong core. Inhale to float. And exhale. So this is called half locust. It's a good core cultivator that also strengthens our backs. And on this exhale, let's release on that side. So we're going to lower that left foot down, wiggle it out a little bit. And then we'll feel that on the other side. So extend your left arm long, bend your right knee, reach your right hand back to find your foot. Again, draw your navel toward your spine first so that you can feel that strong core. Then inhale, float your left arm and left foot. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling to lift. And we just want to keep our core engaged this whole time, so some awareness around drawing the navel toward the spine stays in place. And release. Make a pillow with your hands, rest your head, rock your hips from side to side. You can always bend your knees if you'd like to, and add windshield wiper legs here. That always feels nice in my body, but as with all things yoga, your mileage will vary. And then return your toes to the mat if they are lifted. Press back, find tabletop or downward facing dog. Yogi's choice. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. So we're going to go for that deeper hip expression again. So wiggle your right foot wide and bring your hands to the inside. Remembering that if this is too much, you can put a block under your hands here or 2 blocks, and that will make the stretch a little bit less intense. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhaling forward to lunge and exhaling back. And same choices on this side. So you can shift forward and back. You can also find some little circles here. Just shifting around and noticing any areas that need to stretch in that right hip. Again, this can sometimes be a good way to identify points of tension and just kind of wiggle them out. But always nice and slowly and listening to your body, right? Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Turn your left toes under to lift that back knee. Look forward and step together and fold. Surrender. Bend your knees. Exhale. Roll your way up. Inhale. Rise and open. Exhale. Hands come to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides. Reset Tadasana for the last time. We're going through our Namaskar one more time. Root your feet. Feel that energy rising. Strong core, open heart. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, bowing to the light within. Inhale, halfway rise. Now this time, let's sustain. So what I'd like you to do is press your hips away. Roll your shoulders back and down. Let your collarbones be broad. Use wherever you're touching, so maybe that's your shins or your thighs as a contact point to get even more length here. Really press those hips away, making space between the crown of your head and your hips as long as you can. And you might feel this deep in your hamstrings. So for me, I feel that stretch the most in my legs rather than my back. But that's just a reflection of the fact that I have pretty tight hamstrings. And release, fold. Bend your knees, plant your fingertips. Inhale, step your left foot back to lunge and lower that left knee down to the mat. Now this time we're going to walk our hands up the right knee. If you notice that in your body this feels unstable, feel free to grab a block and place it by your left hip. That way you've got something to touch down to. On your inhale, lift up and out. Get nice and tall. Exhale, sink deeply into that right knee. Melt your left hip toward the earth. Inhaling, lifting up and out. Exhaling to soften. And remember, this is all about the lower body, so our upper body doesn't move very much. The heart stays lifted. On your next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Knees together. Hips over the knees and walk your hands forward. Melt your heart. Bowing over the mat, Anahatasana. Remember, you can bend your elbows here to put a little less tension in the shoulders, a little less depth to that stretch. Puppy dog pose. And then roll your way all the way out and down onto your belly. Walk your toes back, create space. So we're going to do another little core cultivator here that focuses on strengthening the back as well as the belly. So what I'd like you to do right now is bring your toes the width of the mat and just relax your feet. Now from here, we're going to bring the arms forward. So draw your navel toward your spine. So it's almost as though you could slide a little penny, like a penny underneath your belly button, a little bit of space right there. Keep that. On your inhale, float up, right? So arms are off the mat, legs are off the mat. Exhale, draw your elbows toward your sides and your toes together. Inhale, extend your arms, let your toes become the width of the mat. Exhaling, drawing in. Inhaling, expand. And just check in, make sure you're still drawing your navel toward your spine. And release. Make a pillow with your hands, rest your head, rock your hips from side to side and let it go. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders, press back, find your way to tabletop or downward facing dog. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands. Now from here, let's walk our hands up that left knee. And remember, if you feel unstable here, you can always grab a block and place it by your right hip so you have something to touch down on. Let's find that hip opening pulse. Inhale, lift up and out, long spine. Exhale, sink deeply into that left knee, melt your right hip toward the earth. Inhale. And exhale. On this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together for forward fold. Now this time we're going to do a full lunar pause right here. So I invite you to become comfortable in your forward fold. You can always wiggle your feet wider or narrower. You can find movement here. And we just use this space to come back to homeostasis, to come back to our intention for our practice, to surrender to the practice. And then come to stillness at the center. Bend your knees. Exhale. Roll your way up. Inhale, rise and open. And exhale, hands to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides. From here, let's find our way all the way down onto the mat. Roll down onto your back and draw your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. So just let it go. Find ease, a little self-care, a little self-love right here. Sometimes it can feel good to draw big circles with your knees as well and really get a nice massage. Back of the body. And then come into stillness. So from here, leave your toes touching and open your knees out to either side. And then with that diamond shape in the legs, you're welcome to float your feet to make it a little bit bigger. Sweep your fingertips to the sky, interlace all of your fingers except your index ones. So we're making the Charlie's Angels finger gun and or Agni Mudra, depending upon who you ask. Draw your navel toward your spine, exhale. Point your fingers through the diamond of your legs. Inhale back down to the mat. Exhaling, pointing away. Inhaling to the earth. And as always, remember to go at your pace, to go at your desired level of effort. Now on this next one, you can stay going slow or you can sustain and then pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and roll all the way down. Relax onto the mat, rock from side to side, let it go. So coming once more to stillness at the center, let's do a little bit of hip opening since we're lying down already. Relax your palms down to the mat. And from here, we're going to start big circles with that left knee. So we're going to draw all the way out, all the way down, all the way back to center. Now, if you notice your lower back starts to pull off the mat at all, draw your navel toward your spine. That'll help protect your back. And also, as always, some little clicking sensations are normal. Come to center. Let's feel that on the other side. So we're going to let that right knee trace huge circles. And again, keep your core engaged to protect your back here. And come into center. All right, last core cultivator on the mat. Draw your knees directly over your hips and draw your navel toward your spine. Feel your lower back pressing into the mat. Now, from here on, for this movement, we need to keep that contact point. So if at any point in time you feel your lower back pulling up off the mat, stop and re-engage your belly. On an inhale, press your right heel away, keeping that leg nice and low. Inhaling back. Exhaling, pressing the left heel away. And inhaling back. So this one's really good for addressing our lower abdominals. And if you find this one to be not challenging enough, you're welcome to extend both legs at the same time and then draw them back in. But that is a lot of work, and we want to make sure that that lower back stays connected to the mat the entire time. And then draw everything in, let it go, rock from side to side, secure in the knowledge that I will not do that to you again this practice. Come to stillness at the center, rock forward to seated. And we're going to pause here for a butterfly pose. So draw the soles of your feet together in front of you. Now, this hip stretch, and we've been doing a lot of hips this morning, is governed by how close our heels are to our bodies. So you can judge that for yourself. The closer you bring your heels, the more intense the hip stretch. So once you've found a nice position for your body, inhale to lengthen your spine. Keep your heart lifted and your spine long as you hinge forward from the hips. Now you'll find a spot where your body naturally stops. So for me today, this is it. This is as far as I go with a straight spine. So once you've found that place, then you can surrender. Bow over your legs. You can bring your elbows to your inner thighs or to your calves to gently apply some downward pressure to further open your hips. Come into your breath here. Come into your intention. And then from here, simply roll your way all the way back up to seated. Draw your knees together. We're going to make our way up to standing. You can get there however you would like to. Adjust my camera real quick. Light a little bit because, of course, there we go. Okay. Let's set up our warrior sequence for the day. What I'd like you to do is step your right foot forward and your left foot back. Bend your right knee. Now we're starting in warrior one. So we want our hips and our hearts facing the same direction. Once you bend that knee, you might find you're experiencing a little tension in your left calf. If that's the case, just open that left foot out a little bit. So we turn our hearts toward the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, sweep behind them, reach away. Inhaling, open. Now see how far back your upper arms can go. So we're experimenting a little bit with range of motion right here. Now on this next exhale, I would like you to interlace your fingers and just let them rest at the small of your back. Draw your navel toward your spine. You're going to get so tired of hearing about this practice, but it's how we protect our bodies. So feel that happen and then roll your shoulders back and down, lengthen your arms, lift your heart. Exhale, soften. Inhale, navel, heart, lengthen. Exhale. One more time. Exhale, release your fingertips, sweep them all the way up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, find that Agni Mudra again, right? That Charlie's Angels finger gun. Draw that up to the sky and then draw your upper arms behind your ears. Sink a little more deeply into your right knee. Draw your navel toward your spine and lift from behind your heart. Crescent lunge. Just breathing. And release. Bring your hands down to heart center and let them go. Now what I'd like you to do is shift your weight into your right foot. You can set a block at the top of the mat here for your hands, but what we're going to do is bring our hands down to the mat or onto that block. On your inhale, float your left leg long behind you. Now, depending on where you are in your practice, maybe we lift and lower that leg. If you're feeling a little bit more like a challenge, on your exhale, coil your left knee in. Inhale to lengthen. Exhaling, coiling. Inhale. So when we feel this, this works our core, works our legs, our glutes. And on your next exhale, lower that left foot down and just bow over your legs. Let it go. Bend your knees. Exhale to roll your way up to standing. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release your hands down and let's set that up on the other side. So we're going to step that right foot back and bend our left knee. Once again, we want to keep our heart and our hips facing the front of the mat. Notice if this is causing tension in your right foot or your right calf, and just turn that right foot out as much as you need to reduce the tension. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, sweep away. Again, checking range of motion. How far back can they go? Inhaling up. How far back can they go? On this next exhale, bring your fingertips to the small of your back and interlace. Strengthen your core first, navel to spine. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhaling to soften. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhale. One more time. And exhale, release. So let's find crescent lunge here. So what I'd like you to do is inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Interlace your fingers other than your index fingers. Sweep those hands up. Draw your upper arms behind your ears. Draw your navel in. Inhale, lift your heart, bend that left knee. Crescent lunge. Just breathing right here. And on this exhale, both hands come down through heart center and release. So from here, we begin to shift our weight into our left foot, fold forward, hands touching down. We find that block or the mat. Inhale, float your right leg long behind you. And again, options. Maybe we just practice lifting and lowering that right foot. Maybe you find that little core pulse. Exhaling, coiling your right knee in. Inhaling, lengthening that right leg. Exhale to coil. Inhale to lengthen. And on this next exhale, we're going to lower that right foot down and surrender. Forward fold, let it go. Bend your knees, exhale, roll your way up. From here, take a nice wide stance on your mat. You can grab a block to go with you if you'd like. We're going to do a wide-legged forward fold with support, so feel free to plant a block at the center of the mat. So for our wide-legged forward fold, we want our feet to be parallel and facing that same direction. On your inhale, sweep your hands to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Either find the block or the earth or your mat, wherever you can reach. Inhale, create length along your spine. And exhale to fold. Inhaling, opening, expanding. And exhale to fold. Now this time, let's walk our fingertips forward, as far forward as you can reach. Root into your heels, tip your tailbone toward the sky. Once you've found your maximum stretch, exhale to soften your heart toward the mat. Getting a nice deep stretch here through the back. And then walk your hands back to center. Soften your knees, roll your way up to standing. Perfect. Make your way all the way down to the mat. And from here, we're going to roll all the way down onto our backs. Once again, take a moment to draw your knees in, rocking from side to side, just giving our lower back a little bit of love. And then come back to center. Drop your feet down just beneath your glutes. So you've got a nice deep bend in your knees. Relax your palms down to the mat. Fingertips are reaching long. Relax your shoulders. Once more, draw your navel toward your spine. So we feel that lower back connecting to the earth. And we're going to do this two ways. So the first option here is a dynamic pelvic tilt. So really draw your navel in and curl your tailbone under. Inhale to release. Exhaling, curling in, making that scooping shape with the belly. Inhale to release. And exhale. So this is a dynamic pelvic tilt. And if this feels amazing, you stay right here. This is still work, still cultivating. If you would like to go into low bridge pose, find your way to a neutral spine, but we're going to re-engage that belly. So we're still going to feel navel to spine action here. On your next inhale, press into your feet to lift your hips up off the mat. Exhale, softening just a little bit. Inhaling to lift, to lengthen. Now, maybe you stay here. For just a couple people, maybe you walk your shoulders under and interlace your palms. Now, if you found that deeper stretch across the chest, remember that this back bend moves, right? So we feel it more behind the heart. And we feel the energy of our heart and our third eye reaching toward each other. Exhaling, softening, and inhaling to lift. So wherever you have found yourself is absolutely correct. There is no wrong place in yoga practice. And then everyone, roll your way down, vertebra by vertebra. Draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Let it go. Good job. There was some tough stuff in that one. Core work is always hard work. Come to stillness at the center and open your arms out to either side. Drop your knees off to your right hand side and turn your head to look to the left. And just let your body melt. Now to get the best back stretch, make sure your knees are a little higher than your hips, than your waist. On your inhale, draw your knees back to center. Exhale, drop your knees off to your left hand side and turn your head to look to the right. And same little adjustment. Make sure your knees are above your waist for the best stretch here for your lower back. Try to completely relax, just letting the earth hold you, letting it support you. Inhale to come back to center. Rock from side to side, let it go. If there is any particular stretch, any asana, anything you would like to feel before we make our way towards Shavasana, take a moment to honor that request within your body. So it might be another twist, it might be a fold, it might be a little quality time and happy baby. We've certainly opened up the hips enough for that today. So just figure out what would feel good and find that expression in your body. And then come to stillness. Begin to make your way toward your expression of Shavasana, remembering as always that you have choices. So you can bring your heels nice and wide on the mat and let your toes fall out to either side. You can relax your arms, let your palms face the sky. This is classical Shavasana. If you notice that you're pulling your lower back off the mat a little bit here, which is common in a lot of bodies, if that causes discomfort, bend your knees and bring your feet the distance of the mat, then let your knees fall together at the center. This will allow you to relax, but remove that strong arch out of the lower part of the back. You are, of course, also welcome to take child's pose, reclined goddess pose. You can take seated meditation, as I will. Whatever feels better in your body this morning, that is the path you take. So take a few breaths to find your comfortable position. And once you've found that space, begin to soften your body. Consciously relax all the places where your body is in touch with the earth. Just let them melt. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes and your forehead. And then simply let go and float. Allow your breath to create space within your body. Begin to find some little movements of your fingertips and your toes. Just bringing you back to this day, to this time. Point your toes away and reach your arms up overhead. Take a nice deep breath in, full body stretch. Then exhale to draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Eventually find your way all the way over onto your right side and just curl into the posture of the sleeping child. No tension at all. You can cradle your head on your right arm if that would feel good. And take a moment right here to just relax. Really let go of this week, of the month, of the year. Take a moment to remember that who you are and what you do and what you have been through, those are not the same thing. And who you are is the bright spirit shining in this moment. that we share together. Whenever you are ready, use your hands to help press yourself up to a nice, easy seated position. Bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. We will close our practice this morning with a round of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, a prayer for peace. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. Namaste. Thank you. Let me re-enable everyone's microphones. There you go. You should be able to unmute now. I come up and stop the recording.